Yo, what's up, guys? Paulie Malignaggi, Tommy Reno, and this is Tommy and Paulie's Big Fight Forecast. This is a big week of boxing, so we have not one, but two shows this week. We hope you tuned in for the show we had yesterday. Today, we'll be covering the final part of this week's boxing schedule. Tommy, what is it going to be? Paddy Donovan has a fight. Naoya Inoue has a tougher fight than we might be thinking. We got some discussions to have, bro.
Yeah, Paddy Donovan rematch with Lewis Crocker. There's a rematch from earlier this year, a fight between two undefeated guys, and Crocker got his ass kicked for the better part of 8 rounds, I believe it was, and got dropped, got his face chopped up, and walked away the winner because Donovan managed to get himself disqualified in the 8th round. So this is a rematch.
Now, why did he get disqualified, Tommy?
Well, he honestly, Paulie, before even hitting him after the bell, I think the referee had just had enough because he had already taken 2 points because he kept coming in with his head, So he was chopping up, Donovan was chopping up Crocker's face with the headbutts, intentionally and unintentionally. I mean, you can't keep spearing a guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was hitting him with the head all night. So just before the knockout happened at the end of the 8th round, the referee had literally just taken, and he was giving him chances and warnings. He could have took points at other points as well, at other times in the match as well. Took him, and he took a second point from him for another headbutt, and then just gave him like a hard warning again, like, listen, you're flirting with disqualification territory here. And he goes out, he drops him, puts Crocker down the canvas. Puts Donovan down the canvas, and then goes, and as the bell's sounding, he lets go a right hook, knocks him flat on his face, but the punch was after the bell. Disqualification.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's like Andrew Galata. Remember Andrew Galata in was it the rematch
with Bernie Buck?
With Wayne Kelly? Was it
Yeah.
When he just just warned him, and Galata goes right back and throws low blows, and Wayne just so disgusted. He's like, "Get out of here, get your
Oh, it was both fights. The first fight was Wayne Kelly, referee at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
The second one was in Atlantic City at Boardwalk Hall, and both fought better in that fight. And then Galata started giving him a real beating again, and then he started going low again twice in a row.
Oh man! So hopefully Donovan, for Donovan's sake, can make that happen. Again, we want to obviously everybody who tunes in the Tommy and Paulie's Big Fight Forecast, we discuss the gambling side of the fights. We break down the fights, yes, like a regular boxing show, but we more so hedge ourselves on the gambling side of it and discuss the gambling aspects of it. We like parlays. So anything we talk about, obviously we prefer our parlays. And anything we talk about is not gambling or betting advice. It is strictly for entertainment purposes. Now, in this fight, Tommy, is there a risk of Donovan doing a Terry Norris here and getting
We've seen it happen
twice?
before. I mean, listen, we've seen it happen before. Terry Norris got himself
twice. We've seen it with Galata. We've seen it with Terry Norris. I mean, is there guys that are just missing a screw?
Both in rematches. Both in back-to-back rematches.
That's what I'm saying. So what do we do here?
Listen,
is there Donovan by stoppage, but maybe throw a little something on Donovan by on Donovan by DQ?
Plus 2,800 for the disqualification.
Yeah. No, listen. I mean, now who's the other Crocker? Who's the other guy? Paddy? Who's he fighting? Who's the guy he's fighting?
Lewis Crocker.
Lewis Crocker. So yeah. Crocker by disqualification. We throw like a little something on that.
2,800.
Donovan.
If you want to get real creative, we can do disqualification second half of the fight. Really get insane odds, like plus 5,800, because that happened in the 8th round. This fight's going to go some rounds because the thing about Donovan is, Paulie, who Donovan reminds me of? He's a welterweight, and a guy that's just a little bit smaller than him. Really reminds me of Paul Spadafora, the way he fights. Stays in the pocket, constant angles, constantly turning you. Busy, gets his shots off, spins you, turns you, moves his head. And if you remember, Spadafora used to stick his head in there too. Pull it back out.
Southpaw like Spadafora or no?
Southpaw, yeah. Spadafora would give it to you and then pull it away. Give it to you and then pull it away. And that's what Donovan does. But Donovan is doing that while headbutting as well.
Yeah.
So he'll pull it away. He'll throw the uppercut. He'll throw the hook and then put his head back in there. I like Don. I like watching him fight. He's a very good fighter. He was dominating that first fight with just volume, with angles, with doesn't have the best jab, but he just has a jab that he keeps in your face to set him up for the quick left hand, backhand uppercuts, hooks, digs to the body. So he was dominating Crocker the first fight, dominating him and slowly breaking him down. So what looked like pity-pat punches the first few rounds started becoming a lot heavier when he started sitting down on his punches in round 7 and 8. But like I said, that punch after the bell, he dropped him, got up, and then he put him down the second time. But it was literally as the bell rang, and then he shot the right hook, and that was it.
What are you thinking, bro? I mean,
I'm still thinking Donovan, and I'm still thinking Donovan by stoppage.
Donovan by stoppage. Is it
Yeah.
Donovan by stoppage? Do you get cute and go second half of the fight type of stoppage?
You know what? If it turns out like the first fight, and I think that Crocker is going to be more game. This is now for a vacant world title, remember, because Ennis moved up in weight, and this
Which IBF?
I believe it's the IBF, yeah. So
Wow.
Ennis moved up in weight. Those welterweight titles are vacant now. So Crocker's got there's a lot more on the line here because I'm thinking to myself,
Crocker walked himself into a world title fight just by winning by DQ. Wow.
One of my first thoughts was, I'm like, why the hell would Crocker want to get back in there with Donovan? Like, he got the shit kicked out of him. Why you even? And he walked away to win. So why would you want to get back in there? But there's the incentive right there: is the IBF title, the vacant title, and obviously a much bigger payday. But
can Crocker go the distance?
I don't know, Paulie. He's very basic. He really is. He's a pressure fighter, but he's not a puncher. So he's got 11 knockouts and 21 wins. One of those wins is by disqualification. He's not a big puncher. He'll pressure you. He'll come forward, but he's doing it with his head low. He doesn't move his head a lot. He doesn't feint. He doesn't counter punch. I mean, he's a ballsy guy. He throws haymakers. He tries to punch with you, but there's not a big skill set there. So he's a tough dude, and he didn't start really getting hurt and broken down until the second half of the fight. But again, Donovan started sitting down on his punches late in the fight, and then really digging to the body and just taking the fight over.
The pick here is Donovan, likely by stoppage. Second
half of the fight. I'm gonna put in some parlays for Donovan on the money line, which is around -500, which doesn't sound great, but remember, we got a lot of fights this week.
The art is building a parlay.
Yeah, so
building it to plus odds without making it too many legs, but at the same time, the right amount of legs to where it becomes plus money.
So people watching this episode could watch the refer to the previous episode that we just did that came out today, or I'm sorry, that came out yesterday, and that's going to have the whole Alvarez card on it, and you can kind of mash those two together as far as what parlays you want to use, plus the Inoue fight. So at -500, it's really not bad. You can break down into good odds quickly. And also, listen, I do like the stoppage. I think the stoppage was a -130 ballpark. And again, how deep do you want to dive? If the stoppage happens, I think it happens the second half of the fight. I think it happens 7-12. Then you're going to walk away with plus odds on that fight alone. So I'll probably go with all three, honestly. I'm going to go heavier on the Donovan money line because I know he's going to win. Then I'll put a little something on him for the stoppage. And then I'm not going to have to bet much at all for the 7-12 stoppage because those are going to be great odds.
And so these will be all in different parlays, built differently, of course.
Correct.
I got you. All right, man. Well, let's go to the other fight we didn't cover yesterday. This is a big one. Naoya Inoue against he's fighting Akhmadaliev, right? That's the opponent.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna stick with calling him MJ because that's what
Akhmadaliev is rough, bro. Rough.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we got here? Could it be the Inoue's first distance fight in a while? Those are juicy odds.
That was my thought process from second one. Honestly, the second they announced this fight, MJ is a southpaw himself. We've seen Inoue struggle with southpaws. He got dropped by Luis Nery.
Yeah,
who's a southpaw,
and he gets hit with left hands in general because even Cardano from the right hand stands hit him with a left hand as well.
Yeah, because Cardano was squaring up a lot too, and that's yeah. So with MJ is huge amateur pedigree, bronze Olympic medalist, and he might have just the bronze. So he was an Olympic bronze medalist, over 200 fights. I believe he's from Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah.
All right. Fights similar to Lomachenko. I remember the first time I saw him fight, Paul. I saw him actually fight in back-to-back fights. He fought right in Brooklyn at King's Theater.
Uzbekistan too, right? Because it was Uzbekistan.
Might be Uzbekistan, yeah. But I saw him fight at King's Theater, and then I ended up commentating his second pro fight, and they were both in Brooklyn at King's Theater. And my first thought was like, this guy's very similar to Lomachenko.
And his one loss is kind of controversial, right? I mean,
what was the guy's name? Taplis.
Yeah, Tapales. Yeah, the Philippines. Yeah,
it was a very close fight. Of course,
Tapales won that. Has already fought Inoue.
Yeah, so Tapales won that fight, and off the strength of that victory, he got to fight Inoue, and Inoue stopped him. And Tapales is a very good fighter. Me personally, I thought that that MJ did enough the second half of the fight where he surged on to pull off the decision against Tapales, but that's just my opinion. He could arguably be undefeated. It was a very close fight. It could have went either way, but what's interesting about this fight when they first announced it is that you're talking about a guy that's a slickster in his own right, that uses his legs, that moves, that can come forward and be aggressive. He's got a diverse game. He uses a lot of angles, like I said. So he's never online. He's always moving to the left, moving to the right. And I've seen great punch resistance. I've never seen him even buzzed by a shot. So he's also the naturally bigger guy against Inoue. So Inoue's got, Inoue's up against it. The odds on this one at
What we
minus
got for the fight to go to distance here?
the money line. We'll put this. Well, let's start off with the money line is like minus 1100, which I thought as soon as they announced it, this should be a minus 300 fight. This is not a minus 1100 fight, which is insane.
But you say okay, we think Inoue still wins the fight, right? I mean, we think okay. So Inoue on points. Now you got plus money right away, right? If you go that
Well,
way.
it's one of two things in my mind. Well, actually, there's a third option, which is the one that I'm most keen on. So first off, as I was just saying, I thought as soon as they announced this fight, there's a strong probability that this is going to be the first guy in a very long time taking away the distance, and to get Inoue to win by decision is plus 380.
So
It's going to happen sooner or later. It's just a matter of who's going to bring the distance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I like that at plus 380. But Inoue, since he's moving up all these weight classes, now he's stopping guys the second half of the fight. The early knockout days are over. He's got to work a lot harder out there, break these guys down. His fights have been a lot tougher his last few fights. Fight after fight, and he's really going out there and he's having to fight hard. And you know his mentality, Paulie. He's a warrior. He goes out there looking for the knockout. At no point, he's never going to be just satisfied being in control of the fight and winning rounds. He's always looking to get rid of you. And that'll be no different with MJ here. So if a stoppage does happen, it happens 7 through 12. So that's where you get your favorable odds because you're going to get plus odds in that direction as well. What I think, Paulie, is the most reliable bet is simply for this fight to go more than 8.5 rounds. All right. If it goes more than 8.5 rounds, you get about minus 126, I believe it is. And then you can parlay that into plus odds very easily. You just parlay that right there with Paddy Donovan on a money line, and now you have plus odds. I think this fight 100% goes more than 8.5 rounds. So that I think is the most realistic pick. As far as in a way scoring the knockout or the decision, that's kind of a coin flip. Because again, I've never seen MJ hurt. And I mean, he's going to be live the whole time.
So maybe there's like some safer parlays to put in with the plus 8.5, the over 8.5, and then maybe a couple of aggressive parlays where you might want to throw in a way on points and maybe.
Oh yeah, listen, at plus 380 play, I got to use him a couple of times because I have had this feeling.
I mean, if you want to get really crazy, Leicester by stoppage in the Canelo on the card, and Inoue by points against Akhmadaliev, those are two big plus monies together,
Oh, you'd be looking at like plus 900 right there.
Yeah, I mean, just saying. I'm just saying.
I'll mention it to my friend Nick.
Yeah. You may love that one.
Oh, yeah, really? You got a third one? I'm like, yeah, sure. Put in Vargas for the upset too.
But even something like that, which is crazy, but could be doable, right? I mean, Leicester could stop.
Listen, I'll be honest with you, though. I'm gonna be a little bit worried about Inoue those first 3 rounds because again, this guy can punch. He's got 11 knockouts in his 14.
Could it be getting up off the canvas? So is there a prop bet in there where like Inoue to get up off the canvas?
That I got to look into. That would be a great prop bet is Inoue to get off the canvas because you get even better odds that Inoue to get off the canvas and win, which we've seen him do twice already.
Inoue get off the canvas and win on points.
That's now you're getting greedy. Getting a little greedy. Now you're getting a little out of line. A little out of line yourself.
Getting like Nick there. All right.
A little out of line yourself. But the thing with Inoue is, I mean, I'm always worried about him in those early rounds because he's just susceptible. He comes out, guns blazing immediately, and I'm just a little worried about his carelessness early in these fights. And he's in there with a guy that can counterpunch, that is very skilled, very disciplined, and a guy that wanted this fight. This was MJ demanded this fight. He's actually had the audacity, and we know it's not true, but he might believe it. He's been saying that Inoue's been ducking him the last couple of years.
All right. Well,
so this is going to be an interesting fight. But
he got what he wanted now. Is there a possibility that Inoue's extra fired up because of that and wants to stop him?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I think Inoue's got to be real careful here. And again, Inoue's had some recent troubles with southpaws. And again, he's in there with a guy that can fight, that has amateur pedigree, that's in his prime, that already won 2 world titles, and arguably should be undefeated. So, real interesting fight. No walk in the park at all for Inoue. But I do see him winning the fight, and I do see the fight going more than 8.5 rounds.
All right. This is actually
do what you want after that. If you want to put in the stoppage 7 through 12, if you want to get crazy, put the stoppage in 9 through 12, then you're really gonna get wild odds, which is something I might look into because 9 through 12, you might be looking at like plus 400 odds, plus 450 odds.
the stoppage.
Yeah.
But then if he does go to distance, you lost that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree you'd want to get, yeah.
Yeah. So then the
Now I'll throw this out there just for the, just as a gambling angle here, something I've used in the past. You can win one way and you'll lose one way, or you have a possibility of winning two ways. But if you put Inoue in, let's just say, forget about the distance for a second. Let's say you're high on Inoue scoring a late knockout. You put Inoue in for the knockout, just straight up knockout, all right? And then you also put the fight to go more than 8.5 rounds. If you're lucky, you'll get the knockout in round 9 or 10, right?
now we're touching Nick territory again. We're getting a little bit
Yeah,
greedy.
but this is something I often used to do with Better Be Off and with Giovanni Davis with knockout guys. And Inoue is a knockout guy. But usually a lot of these knockout guys are patient and they get you the second half of the fight. So, that's an option too, because you're going to win one way or the other. Either he's going to knock this guy out and you win on that parlay, and it happens late, you're going to win it both ways because the fight's now gone more than 8.5 rounds.
Okay.
All right. So, but yeah, two more good fights. This whole weekend gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of good fights.
Well, it actually starts tonight. We got fights. The undercard of the Canelo show starts. It's all week. It's an all week affair. It's
Yeah, and there are actually fights on a small card on
DAZN. There's a fight on DAZN on Thursday
small
night.
card on DAZN tonight. Yeah. But we had enough to cover with two shows and 6 real good fights that there's a lot of money to be made on, that we left it at that. But yeah, there's a lot of action this weekend.
A lot of boxing. All right, man. That's we hope you guys enjoyed our picks and our picks discussion here on Tommy and Paulie's Big Fight Forecast for a big boxing week. Again, remember, none of it is gambling or investing advice. It's strictly for entertainment purposes. And we've had fun discussing it, man. We'll see you next time on Tommy and Paulie's Big Fight Forecast.